Alright, so I want to share something I just noticed with you guys. Today is September 24th. Something I noticed about 35 minutes ago. Um, I do a lot of screenshots, you guys can see that. Again, my videos aren't planned. If it's something I see, something I hear, something I experience, then that's when I go sharing. But I have a lot of screenshots. I was clearing out my phone and I noticed something, and I'll tell you what I noticed. You guys can also go back and tie it together, especially within the last few days, or I'll say this last week. Now I'm going to go back to the future to explain something that I feel is important, because you may not have seen any of the previous videos with this in it. Before 2019, I noticed on this site, RiggedOnline, aka BOL, it didn't feel like I had too much of a limit. You know, I can win 15, 20,000, so forth and so on, and it just didn't seem like there was a limit. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not saying I didn't think it was rigged or feel it was rigged or know it was rigged, but I knew, and I still experienced a lot of the things I talk about now. But with the limit thing, I wasn't too much experiencing that. Closer to 2019, I'm still playing, bigger games and bigger tournaments. I noticed when my account got to $1,000, as some of my viewers, some of the people that comment on the videos, it seemed like they hit the doom switch. And when they hit the doom switch, that means my account is just not allowed to win. I can't win no more. It's like I hit a limit, and everything is a loss. So you guys already know I talk about it just seems like every other hand. But it's not. It's not seem. It is. It's like every other hand is a bad beat. But when that doom switch hit, it's every hand is a bad beat. And when I say bad beat, I'm not talking about, they get two pair, I got two pair, or their ace beats my ace. No, I'm talking about it's a complete setup. I get full house, they run a bigger full house. I get a freaking top flush, they wind up getting a straight flush. Just all kinds of madness. That's what I'm talking about. Things that are mathematically impossible to happen every hand like that is happening. So that's what I mean by bad beat. And I'm not talking about just by any people. This is why I tell you guys, and been saying it for years, that it's important to mark these players. Mark the players, not because you get beat by them once or twice or here and there. No, I'm talking about if you constantly keep getting beat by them in the same exact manners, in the same fishy ways, but they're also taking out other people in those same manners, that's something suspicious. If you just go back and look through the history of poker, like Absolute, Black Friday, Poker Stars, all the cheating scandals, you guys will hear some of these people tell you, like, they might not say here's something to pay attention to, but they'll tell you their story, and a lot of the things match up. So that's what you guys gotta focus on. So pushing forward, so I noticed that $1,000 limit. So I had to start playing, smaller games. I still wasn't playing micro as I do now. So I had to play smaller games, because in the games that I was playing, or the tournaments that I was doing, I can get to $1,000 very easy. So I had to drop down to something that won't get me to $1,000 that easily. So around 2020, that's when I started really getting active on this account. I noticed that when my account got to $100 in profit, that doom switch just hit. And again, every other hand, every few hands, bad beats. But no, at this point, when that doom switch hits, every hand is a bad beat on me. So I had to go down to micro stakes. And at that point, it's like I didn't even care to play anymore. I just wanted to show everybody what was going on. That's why you guys see me make these videos in this channel. But I also didn't want to give up or give them any of my money. So I stopped loading money. I started playing micro, free rolls, winning free rolls, and just taking that money and just flipping it. Not into a great amount, but still not really losing any money. So I want to tell you guys that to tell you this. Um, on the 21st, you guys, I did a video like 2 days ago. It's a part of it's the first part is a black screen. The second part, I show you guys like 3 or 4 wins. One was the first place for like $65. That's early AM. So early AM, I'm not quite at that $100 mark, but I start to notice everything start to become bad beat, bad beat, bad beat, bad beat every hand. So I do go ahead and I enter into like 3 more tournaments. So the tournament before this, I didn't get a screenshot of it. I'm sorry, I missed it. But I wind up getting, I think it was eighth. No, it wasn't eighth, because it had to be sixth, because 2 more people busted before I did. So it was like 6th place. So 6th place, I got that. At that point, I actually hit. I was right at that $100 mark. Now this, I later did this tournament. This is later on in the PM. The one I got 6th place, it started in the after the one that I won 1st place in. So it was still in the AM, and it dragged on into the afternoon. So I got 6th place around that. Then I jumped into this one. This one was afternoon. So during this tournament, I actually hit the $100 limit, and then again the doom switch. So I did not place in this, but I still made money because it was a bounty. I took quite a few people out of the tournament. So as you guys can hear within my last video, when I'm talking about my wins, you guys can start to hear the frustration. You guys can start to hear where I'm telling you what's happening. Some of those, I gave you guys some of the example of the hands that actually occurred. How I'm flopping trips, turning full houses, but somehow magically they're runner greater full houses. Every hand was like that, and it was mostly just full houses this time. So I hit the $100 mark. Now pay attention to the 25th. You guys start to see that I'm starting to place lower and lower. So I guess I maybe said that backwards, but I'm not getting closer to the final tables. You guys can see that I'm not getting closer to the final tables. I'm not cashing as much. And when we get to here, I'm already at the $100 mark. And this one, at this point, I just knew what I had to do, which was just basically just fold, because at this point, I can't win anything. And even the hands that I do fold, that players do wind up still playing in, and I'm able to see, we're able to see the river. They're hands that I'm still not winning. So here I get 4th place. It gets lower and lower and lower, and closer. I'm starting to bust out closer to these times. This one was at 1:15. This one was at 1 p.m. And that's what I noticed. I went back and I looked at all of my other ones. Yes, there was maybe like 1 or 2 that I didn't cash, but I still made money in. But around those times, I was getting 3rd place, 4th place, 1st place. You guys can go back and look. But that's what I noticed. Every time I get around that $100 mark, it gets worse. That doom switch is hit, and you guys can actually see this, and you guys can see this in my videos without me really noticing it at that time. It's something I did not notice until, again, today, which is the 24th, about 45 to 40 minutes ago at this point. So just go back and pay attention to that. I'm starting to get lower and lower. I'm not cashing closer to the final table. And you guys see that I can constantly win. I can constantly cash final tables. There's times I showed where I won tournaments back to back. Not on this site. Well, yeah, on this site too. But on other sites where I'm winning tournaments back to back, around the same time. But I found that interesting, so I just want to share that. with you guys, but also share these 2 wins because I didn't actually share them in the last video because they didn't actually happen at that time. So again, just more wins within the last week. How many times did I cash a tournament? Almost every tournament I cashed. If I didn't win it, I was on the final table. If I didn't final table, then I was close to the final table until I got closer and closer to that $100 limit.